How to live a life worth living, especially as a young man nowadays, whether you're in the United States or any other part of the world. I'm going to break it down step by step as a life setup guide. And yes, the last point here is the most important. And as you can see, there are some photos of me and my business partners out with some girls in Vegas and out on a night with my friend for dinner. So, what does over 90+% of men want these days? You want to be rich, you want to have good friends, you want to have freedom, options of abundance with women if you prefer that, loyalty from friends and women, health and fitness, and even faith if you are religious or believe in God. These are the most important pieces. I guarantee you watching right now care at least for more than 2 or 3 of these different subjects here. And I'm going to break down some of these points more in detail in this video. So let's just get this out of the way real quick. Most men live horrible lives. And I mean dog shit lives, because I used to as well. And I'm going to show you exactly how I've kind of been able to get out of that and how you can do it as well. So first things first, my goal is to make sure you're not one of these people and you're not one of these guys. And if you are right now, my goal is to make sure you're not going to be like that this time next year. Most men these days are sexless or virgins, just straight out. Most of them are broke or have very, very little money to go ahead and enjoy things in life. They're learning useless information in school or college, or just honestly consuming stupid TV shows or movies that don't provide any value to their life. Or they're playing video games to go ahead and escape reality because their reality is so shitty, they need some sort of way to cope out of it and just escape for a couple hours a day. Or they have low testosterone. And I'm going to go ahead and just touch on that last point later on in this video as well, because it's very, very important. And this is just the tip of the iceberg here, why men's lives in general are so bad these days. And as you can see on the bottom left here, this chart, the young male virginity on the rise. This is from 2018. I guarantee you've probably seen this photo before or someone's shown you it before. I'd be willing to bet that 27% now is probably well over 35%, because between now and 2018, that was like 6 years ago, and life and the world is a lot different. Early adulthood, talking about money here, if you're between the ages of 18 and 24, which most of you are right now, the average net worth in the United States is approximately $28,000. I'm not going to go into any more detail on what my thoughts are on that, but just by my stare at the camera there, you can probably assume what I'm thinking of that. And really just, that's such a low barrier to entry that if you have any level of focus or discipline, you can crush 90+% of other guys in this game, in life, the game of life. And talking about video games here, the global video game market size was estimated to be around $217 billion last year. And now they're saying it's going to go ahead and reach around $583 billion by 2030. That's a 13% year-over-year compound growth. And that just kind of makes me think of the entire VR stuff with people kind of playing video games more, putting a headset on, escaping reality because they haven't been able to get more disciplined enough to fix their real reality in life, that they're using it as an escape. Now, foundational key points. Being a millionaire is not required. I know many people that aren't millionaires and they have very, very fun lifestyles. They have good friends, good relationships, and it's just not a prerequisite, honestly. So I want to get that out of the way, because everyone thinks they have to have $10 million to go ahead and really just be secure in life. And I want to kind of break that limiting belief a little bit here. You can do more with what you have than what you actually believe, and I'm going to go into that in a moment. But you also really want to have an online business model. And I have Go High Level here because it's kind of slept on. A lot of people still don't know about it and still aren't utilizing it. And it's the number one toolkit for a business owner, whether you're an online business or a brick and mortar business. Now, challenge yourself physically every single day. This is to go ahead and just increase your discipline levels. We don't want you just being motivated when you're going ahead and feeling like something when you go finish watching a video regarding your mindset and stuff. I want you to go ahead and instill that discipline in you to go ahead and do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it, because those are the days where you're going to get ahead of everybody else. Stop being a bitch here and put your pants on. You need to be self-accountable, and you really need to be disciplined with yourself if you're serious about accomplishing your goals, whatever they may be. And lastly is just my own advice here. I recommend you live for experiences and not for tangible things. And what I mean by that is living for experiences, going on trips with people that you really care about, and going to nice dinners with friends or family or romantic partners. Those times and experiences are worth so much more than things like cars, jewelry, houses, any of that stuff, because there's something about a human connection when you have good friendships, good romantic relationships, that a car, house, watch, I don't care what you're talking about, a new Louis Vuitton shirt can't replace. First thing on the board here is going to be to get in the best shape that you possibly can. You're going to feel better mentally and physically, and even emotionally, because you're going to feel better about yourself. I want you to push harder in the gym if you've already been going already, and to eat cleaner. I've been doing this more recently than usual, and it is a very, very fun testimonial of myself, of seeing how far you can go and how far I can go, and I want you to do the same here. Because physique cannot be bought. It's highly rewarding and highly respected. Here's me on the left a few years ago, not fat as shit, but pudgy, skinny fat, and just look at the sunburn on my shoulders. I was wearing a Miami Heat jersey. I remember this day, honestly. And I had the top down on my car. I was trying to get some sun, and I was so just unhealthy that I just burned within a couple hours at most. I was only in the sun for a couple hours. Just a really shitty existence, honestly. Versus on the right is me. Very recently, I took this photo. You could see more jacked, more shredded, more just dominant looking and feeling more dominant to take on the world and just get after it. Continuing on from this and living a life worth living is, how can you do it? How can I do it? How can I go on these trips? How can I go ahead and just have really fun experiences? On the far right, I'm sipping a champagne on a private jet. In the middle, I'm driving a Lamborghini Huracan on Miami Beach. On the left there, I'm on a jet ski in Miami in the Bay. How? Does this cost tens and tens of thousands of dollars? Can it be done with less than that? It doesn't have to be super expensive, and it can only be done really with a few grand if that's all you have. I don't recommend that. I don't recommend spending your last few dollars on a fun experience, but I'm going to just say this, wink, wink, look into private jet memberships. If you've been under the belief this entire time that you need millions and millions and millions of dollars to go ahead and either buy a jet or know somebody that owns a jet to be on one, or charter a jet that costs tens of thousands of dollars to go ahead and charter out for 1 or 2 flights for a one-way or round trip, you're not educated enough on this, and I want you to go look into private jet memberships. Thank me later. It's way cheaper if you can go ahead and find a deal in your area, especially for my US people out here. You can go ahead and hop on a private jet one way for less than $1,000. Next here is going to be having better friends though, and just a better social circle. If you have big dreams, find the people that also do as well. There's no point sticking around with people that aren't on the same path as you, aren't on the same wavelength, wanting to improve. It's only going to hold you back, and it's only going to go ahead and just taint your growth as an individual. And I want to go into this briefly a little bit more, because this is something that I experienced years ago when I went ahead and broke out of my hometown social circle. And a lot of people were confused. A lot of people thought I was just distancing myself because I was just being weird. But the reality was the people I was still surrounded with were not wanting to go ahead and improve and increase at the level and pace I wanted to. So mathematically, if I'm going to try and break ahead from everybody else, I'm going to end up separating myself from a group. That's just how it is. And right now, if you're about to do that, or if you're currently doing that, there's going to be a time that you're going to feel really alone, and you're going to feel like maybe you're doing the wrong thing. And I just want to let you know that very, very soon, if you keep pushing forward, you're going to find new people that are going to go ahead and make life so much more enjoyable. Don't go back to the people that are going to dragging you back down. It's not worth it. Adding on to this here, people of value like to share value. It's mutual benefits here. Somebody is successful in one area, you're successful in a different area. You can talk about several interests that you have and then the other person may have, and then bond over that. For example, on the bottom right here is Sebastian Georgiou and Sebastian Escueda. These 2 photos were actually taken at my birthday about a month ago, and I consider all these guys on my screen right here as friends of mine, because they've been able to go ahead and just make my life so much better and just more enjoyable, and they've been able to provide me with so much value that I want to go ahead and reciprocate all the time and show them information that I may have that they don't have, just because they're such good people. But just as an example here, if you guys don't know who Sebastian Georgiou is or Escueda, they are drop shippers. They're big Shopify affiliates for the most part. That's what they're pretty much known as online. But you might ask me, how am I able to provide value to somebody like Sebastian here? I found out that he's into crypto. I'm into crypto. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to him more about it. And one of our longest conversations initially was talking about crypto. And over time, that's been one of the main talking points we go back and forth about, just sharing each other information. When something's up, we will send it to each other. Or I'll go ahead and send him some stuff regarding certain projects I'm looking at. And you should do stuff like this without expecting anything in return, honestly, because there's been a lot of times where I've shared information with people and they just shrug it off. They don't really give a shit. And it's like, all right, well, whatever. I guess they don't really find that valuable. So maybe I'll go ahead and try something else. Or I just really won't be close to that person. George has provided me with an immense amount of value in terms of growing my online businesses. Bobby, just really good friend of mine. Derek as well, really good friend of mine. These are both my business partners. I don't need to ramble on anymore. Similar interest equals easier conversation and just super easy to connect with. Now, this is going to be the most important part. And I mean this very, very, very directly. This is going to be very, very important because nobody else has ever talked about this in the online space and the self-help guides. So I'm going to be the first to go ahead and do so. And I want to make this clear. If you skip this next slide and skip this next part, but go ahead and take action on everything else, like going after money and just pursuing money honestly, because everybody feels like that's the only thing you really need to go ahead and attract women or be happy in life or get in the right rooms with people. If you only do that, you are fucked. So next is me when I was younger, weak and rich. My life sucked. I was soft on the inside and the outside because I was pudgy and just really skinny fat. And I was 20 years old and I was a baller, but it wasn't what I expected. On the left, that photo is an official check for over $100,000, just right there. In the middle with my face, that's me in Miami on South Beach at Nikki Beach, if you guys have ever been there, if any of you have ever been there. I was in the cabana just looking puffy as all hell, really ugly, really out of shape. On the right is my supercar at the time, was brand new, and I felt like a G. I was 20 years old, mobbing a brand new Aston Martin drop top. And on the right is me as well with the car. On the left you can see. I mean, what the hell am I wearing there, honestly? Like, that outfit is so bad. I remember this day as well. I was on a photo shoot with one of my friends, and he was taking some pictures of me. This was just a candid kind of photo back in my town square, my hometown square. And I was trying to get photos for Tinder because I wanted to go ahead and start hanging out with girls more. And be honest, as a dude too, would you swipe right on a guy that looks like that? No, you wouldn't. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just totally out of shape. My fashion sense was horrible. So what was the solution to all this? How did I kind of get out of this rut? Because this is fun fact, this is actually one of the more depressing parts of my life from several years ago, which you might not really kind of believe when I show you all this kind of sort of material success. It was one of the most it was one of the most anxiety and depressing times in my life. So what was the solution to all this? How did I get out of this, and how can you get out of this? Be more masculine. Yes, stop being a passive bitch. And I know I'm cursing a lot in this video. This is kind of maybe out of character for some of my other content that maybe you've watched, but I just need to be very, very forward and just straight shooter with you this video, because I need to get to your subconscious and really just make you think about shit. Because this is really important. Because being passive gets you absolutely nowhere in life other than being disrespected by everyone. I'm talking about your guy peers. I'm talking about females. I'm talking about dating relationships. You will only be disrespected if you have no backbone and you're just kind of easygoing, going with the breeze, don't really have any unique opinions, are afraid to speak up and share your own thoughts, even though you may piss people off. That's just reality. If you're not able to go ahead and be that type of guy, you're going to be in for a very, very shitty life. And that's why I want you to really absorb this and apply it in your life here. If you're soft, be harder on yourself. Your goal should be to get as mentally, emotionally, and physically strong as possible. If you're not pursuing all three of these things at the same time, or really just maybe you're already physically strong and mentally strong, maybe emotionally you catch feelings too quick for a girl, or you catch yourself being sad a little bit more for no reason, then you need to go ahead and balance things out. But ideally, you want to go ahead and max these out as much as possible. You don't want to be able to be really affected emotionally or mentally when things go good or bad. Because as soon as you start getting giddy with something, or start getting sad with something, then your emotions lead you down the wrong path. And I've been there before, and I bet you have as well. And regarding physicality strength, the bigger you kind of are, or the bigger you kind of feel and stronger you kind of feel, you just feel more powerful. I mean, maybe you're not fit right now. Maybe you are, and you know what I'm talking about, but a more masculine frame you have, you feel like you can kind of take things on more. You feel like you can kind of just really grab things by the hands and just morph reality to your liking and to the way you want it to be. And this, just being more masculine in general, is the key to living a life worth living. You can have all the money. You can have some girls too. You can have some cool friends. But if you're just being a pushover, you're going to be in your head the entire time being anxious, really questioning if you're actually liked by the people that you surround yourself with. Because you shouldn't really be even striving to be liked by people. This is one of the most misconceptions I think that I was kind of under for years. And I would like to think that most other people are too, because it's just natural social programming. But I don't recommend that you should pursue to be liked by people in life. I believe you should be pursuing to be respected by people, because people that don't like you can still respect you. People that don't respect you aren't going to like you. It doesn't go both ways like that. And just being more masculine in general, once again, it's basically how you beat 99% of other guys. That's really just all it is. If you're able to do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it, and be disciplined more over than being motivated, this is how you're going to beat majority of people. This is how you're going to attract the most high quality girls, and watch how fast your life changes once you apply all this in your life. So what are some of the takeaways that you can go ahead in your life and start applying? So number one, most importantly, is I want to actually go ahead and see your hormones checked. Go get your blood work. Go check your total and free testosterone, your cortisol level, which is the stress hormone, and your estrogen levels. That's basically the female sex hormone. If anything's out of whack like that, or you have low test, or you're showing symptoms of low test, get that sorted out. Whether you're going to optimize your lifestyle for healthier foods, maybe you're already doing that and you still have low test. I'm not advising or dismissing taking over-the-counter testosterone, but I am saying that you should be going ahead and dialing your health as much as possible, because health is the foundation of everything else in life. Next is going to be to build an online business. You know, I have a free blueprint for exactly how I did this and how we're running our online business in the description below. Completely for free. All you do is just enter your information and then start the entire trial for HighLevel. Just enter your credit card information. You don't get charged till 30 days pass, and you can always cancel it. Next is to stop eating unhealthy. If you're going out a lot, eating unhealthy foods, very, very fatty foods, sugary foods, cut it out. It's not good for your mental health or physical health, and you're going to really see how fast things change for the better in your life. Then I want you to start lifting at least 3 to 5 times per week. Prove to yourself that you can do more than what your lizard brain is telling you can't do. Because you can always do more. You can always get at least 1 or 2 more reps in. Now, this is going to be one that people are going to be like, but I can't do that right now, because most guys don't have options yet. But I want you to go on more dates and see girls more frequently. If you're not actively in the dating scene, then you're kind of going to be rusty in a way. Especially your testosterone is going to be a little bit off, because you're not surrounding yourself by women, and you're not surrounding yourself by girls that actually like you and are desiring you. If you aren't able to see girls or go on multiple dates with multiple girls, back to the drawing board in terms of everything else I've mentioned to live a life worth living. Get in the gym, get your fitness on point, get your mental state on point, and from there you're going to be able to start attracting and even retaining high quality girls. Because I used to not really be on a lot of dates before years ago, and then I've gotten a little bit more experience since then, and this side of life is definitely a lot more healthy. And lastly, here to wrap this up, is going to be my advice to you to just be grateful for the position you're currently in. You watching this right now might be in a kind of shitty situation in terms of your mental health, physical health, and it's important to be grateful for where you're at right now, because if you're truly driven and truly hungry to improve, the only way is up, and the only way is improving. And then in a few months and in a few years, you're going to look back at your old self and realize how far you've come along this journey. Just like I showed you in this photo, looking at my old self right here, it makes me smile, and it makes me really grateful for the time where I was looking shitty like that and fat, to now be able to appreciate the kind of physique I've been able to attain so far, and keep progressing. But that's going to wrap this video up here. I know I was a bit more blunt in this video, but I do want to be a little bit more straightforward in my content, to be just more action-based and really just deliver all the information I can in as short amount of time as possible. So in the meantime, don't be motivated, stay disciplined, and I will see you in the next video.